Oh man, it is hot as hell outside. Let's go. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Indie Comics Review. Oh, I'm wearing my Jackie Robinson shirt, my Jackie Robinson jersey, like Mookie and Do the Right Thing, because it is Do the Right Thing hot outside. Y'all remember that movie? It was hot as hell that day. But I'm not going to throw a garbage can through somebody's window and start a riot. But I am, however, going to review 3 comic books from my collection that I chose to review this week. I did not get any new books last week, but that's okay. I got dozens of books I need to read. So I chose 3 books from my collection that I am going to review. And at the end, I will be revealing the winner of the Bunny Mask #1, which I'll be giving away at this week's giveaway and also next week's giveaway. So be sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button if you like this kind of content. So let's get started right away with the first review, which is the 6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton. Just picked up this book from mycomicshop.com last week. Came out a couple of weeks ago, but I just got it. And this is from Image Comics. And it is written by Kyle Starks, and it is illustrated by Chris Schweitzer. Trigger Keaton is this amalgam-like character, kind of like a Chuck Norris, Bruce Willis, Burt Reynolds kind of a action figure guy, and any other kind of like a-hole action figure guy you might want to throw in the mix there. And he suddenly turns up dead. He's one of those people that everyone hated, so you can look in any direction for the murderer. He has a history of treating people like shit, from stunt people to directors, and especially his sidekicks. And one of his sidekicks, the most recent guy, actually discovered his body. And since this guy was working recently on a cop show, and he's kind of a neurotic kind of a guy too, he decided that he's gonna solve the case. You know, he's gonna just take over, because the real cops just seem kind of disinterested, just another, dead body, another suicide in Hollywood, yada yada, off the Cedar Sinai with the body and call it a day. So they're ready to sweep it under the rug as another random suicide. So this guy, after attending a quick memorial for Keaton with some of the other sidekicks, the cop sidekick tells another sidekick, who now works with the nurse, he wants to examine the body. And since he works with a nurse, he gets him into the hospital, and the cop sidekick decides after the examination that it was definitely a murder. So there are some altercations that follow, including a stuntman fight. And it becomes clear that anyone could have killed this guy because he was such an asshole. He was hated by everyone. The writing is pretty clever in this book. It's a lot of good genuine laughs. If you like a good funny book, so to speak. And Starks cleverly works in a few TV guide listings and tabloid articles to help us get a better picture of who Keaton was and who the sidekicks are. And so we get a pretty good profile of just a first glance at how these people are. And it works pretty well for me. If you enjoy funny comics, if you enjoy, and it's pretty fast moving as well, so I can put it in that category. And if you enjoy that kind of stuff, you'll probably enjoy the 6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton. I know I did, so I definitely give it a thumbs up. Next book, completely different kind of a tone. This is called Troggs, and this is a complete production. It's under American Mythology Productions, is the publisher, and it is written and drawn and everything. Everything as far as I think, except maybe coloring, is completely done by Richard Bonk. Great artwork, by the way. This is what really drew me into this book. And Troggs is really a personal project, it seems, of Richard Bonk. I've not really heard a lot about him. It turns out he has done a lot of work for Top Cow, DC, Dark Horse, among others. So this book is kind of reminiscent of your average Conan adventure. A woman is trying to escape a monster in a savage, primitive land. Big, strong barbarian happens along. He slays the monster. She's eternally grateful. Yada yada. So forth. The dialogue is nothing special. It's the characters are basically cardboard cutouts, and the word balloons don't really work with the font choices. So he probably should have had someone else do the lettering tasks. And the story really is not that important, as it turns out. And it ends kind of strangely. And none of that is really important, since the star of this book is clearly the artwork of Richard Bonk, which is, like I said before, the reason I bought this book. Also, trigger warning: there's a rape in this book. So just so you know, going forward, the man is very talented. He's a penciler and an inker. The artwork and the line work is pretty on point. As a writer, not so much. You get a lot of dialogue that could be generated pretty much by like the Marvel method, where you just fill in 22 pages and you just make up some dialogue as you go along and plug in whatever the characters are doing, and so forth. So it's not really great writing, like I said before. But I did like it. I did like the book for what it is, which is basically, I think, just Bonk just deciding, like, I'm going to do this project and show off how well I can draw, and that's just kind of what it is. It's just kind of like a showcase for his artwork. It was a project he's been wanting to do for a while. I always wanted to do a barbarian book, or a caveman book, what do you want to call this. If you see this book at a con and it's cover price or less, you probably pick it up. I think it's worth it, especially if you enjoy the Conan, Tarzan, type of theme book, and if you just enjoy that kind of artwork. I'm glad it is a one-shot, because I would not sub to this book. It's not my favorite genre, first of all. But if Richard Bonk were to, say, team up with a writer that I really like, writer, James Tynion, for instance, but doesn't go right to the top, or even a decent writer that I like, Matt Kent or Zdarsky or somebody, I think I would be interested in that book, because his artwork is really worth the cost of the book. And like I said, that's really what you got here. So if you like that kind of artwork, yes, thumbs up. If you're looking for a really good story, not so much. The last book is Ant, and this is an Eric Larson joint. It's from Image Comics, and Eric does everything except the lettering, because Eric was clever enough to get somebody else to do the lettering, and he did all the rest of the work. I remember seeing Ant years ago. I don't remember much about it. I remember just saying, oh, that's an interesting character, but I never bought the book. And just reading the history of the backstory in the back of the book, literally in the backstory of this issue, I was kind of brought up to speed on where the character stands. And this is basically, it's the artist who drew her at the time, Mario Gully. He owned this character. And I noticed that, he would always draw her like, in this kind of a sexual kind of a thing, and she had back and all that stuff, and he would definitely emphasize that. But that was the main part of the character. I think what Larson is going to do, since he has bought this character from him, he's going to try to develop that character and that and her universe even more so. So where we come in is the book was at issue number 11 when it just ceased publication. So we flash forward to this issue of Ant, number 12, which is basically a wrap-up of the old Image series drawn by Gully and written by a bunch of other writers that really did nothing for the story. Uh, Long story short, Eric Larson bought this character, like I said, from Gully, and he's attempting to close out that first volume of Ant because it just ended abruptly, and it didn't have any closure in it. And then he's left all the readers hanging, a la Gwen Stacy #2, but I digress. Anyway, this issue picks up where number 11, I should say, left off. So it starts with someone she knows named Charlie is getting obliterated by some kind of a death ray. And these goons are blasting with their blasters, coming after her to get her too. So she's kind of joined by a guy named Daredevil. Not that Daredevil, but apparently you can have multiple Daredevils as long as you don't make them look like the Marvel Daredevil. Because they're having other characters by that name also in other comics. But eventually she gets knocked out and she wakes up in a lab where some scientist guy explains what's happened to her and catches up the audience as well. And it turns out that guy happens to be her dad. So let's talk about Eric Larson for a while. I mean, how does he have time? How does he really have time to do all this stuff? I mean, this is a guy who's been doing the Savage Dragon for how many years? He's got this long run on the Dragon where he's been doing this book every month. I don't know, why is he not more highly regarded in the industry? I mean, his work is good. It's decent. I don't know, maybe is his political views? Is he polarizing that way? Is that the problem, or I don't know? But the proof of his work is on the page, and I guess the recognition came eventually for Todd McFarlane, because years ago, Todd was, despite all the work, how good he is and all the work he puts in, and how many issues of Spawn are under his belt right now, he's just now starting to get a lot of the recognition that he's due. So maybe that'll happen for Larson too at some point. I don't know. It looks like Larson used the layouts that he made years ago for Ant. He explains all that in the back of the book. Which is why it kind of looks a little different than his artwork now, because artists' works tend to evolve over time, and it looks like he just didn't want to waste that artwork that he prepared for that issue number 12. As he explains how it's just a whole thing about getting Mario Gully to finish issue number 12, and he said he's going to do it, and he didn't do it. Then Eric ended up doing it himself, and I guess he just said, fuck it, why don't you just sell me the character? So he did that, and this is where we are now. Eric Larson is going to relaunch Ant with a number 1 issue coming up very soon. And it's going to have a new story arc, and it's going to have new characters, and he's going to try to I think the character is in good hands now, because Larson definitely, he's serious about his characters and his work. So we'll see what happens with that, and I'll definitely be around for that relaunch. I'll check out number 1 when it comes out to see how Eric Larson drawn and written Ant is going to turn out. So that's all for the reviews right now. Let's see what we're gonna do as far as the giveaway goes. Now those of you who really want an issue of, people have probably already read Bunny Mask already, but there's only a couple of eligible people for this drawing this week. So Bunny Mask is going to go to one of 4 people. So there's a 25% chance of someone getting that book. I hope you haven't read it, or I hope you like another copy of it, because it's coming your way. Yeah, let's see here. Who's a lucky winner? Open it up. And it's Gary B, the casual comic guy. Gary, I hope you, I hope you're interested in reading Bunny Mask, because I'll leave an email down below, and if you like an issue, I will gladly ship it to wherever you would like it shipped. So Gary B, congratulations. And next week I'm going to be giving away an issue of Phantom Star Killer #1, the third printing. That's from God, what is that? It's not a vault, or I don't remember. The Phantom Star Killer #1, third printing will be the giveaway. Thanks to my guy Willie Survive, who sent me a copy of that. And that's going to be going out to the fandom, to the comic folks out there. Thanks to Willie. So thanks again, Willie, for that those AOKs you sent me. So that is it for this week, folks. Damn, I hope it's not as hot here as it is wherever you are. We're just not prepared for this kind of stuff out here in the PNW. So that's going to do for this Indie Comics review. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you know when I make another video. So until next time, I'll see you guys in the funny papers. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and leave a thumbs up.